name is Ben and welcome back to Pass the Aux Cord, a channel where it looks like my forehead has the plague. However, we're still going to be looking at the debut studio album from Arctic Monkeys titled Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. I think I got it right this time. Either way, we got some very edgy artwork and a very edgy title, so I'm hoping we're in for some edgy content. That's kind of my whole deal, isn't that right, little Gerard Way? But without any further exposition, let's get into the first song, which is The View from the Afternoon.
Alright, hopping right into it with some very nice percussion. Liking where this is going already. Wow, I like the vocal style already. Nice. Some good riffs right there. Ooh, the bouncing back and forth there. It's pretty cool. Very 2000s pop punk kind of feel on this chorus. That's really cool. It's nothing super like mind-blowingly innovative, but the way the guitars come in is just, it's nice. It's really good. I thought this song was done for a sec, but here we go again. I'm kind of starting to wonder what the point of that was, because we're just kind of getting the same thing here again. Instrumentation is still really nice. I mean, I'm not really complaining about it. It just is a little bit repetitive in the lyrics. Okay. I really like this heavier set of guitars that are being played up here. And that's smooth outro. Alright. Alright, that is a pretty cool track right there. Definitely liked it sonically. Like I said, bringing back some of those early 2000 pop punk vibes for me. It's like a heavier Fall Out Boy. At least that's the impression that I'm getting from that. I hope that's not too terribly offensive for anyone. However, we're kind of setting the stage for, you know, maybe our character here has a bit of a drinking problem. It's got this kind of same feel I was getting from the one other Arctic Monkeys record that I looked at, where we just got these characters looking a lot like our guy on the cover here. You know, the cigarette's telling you the whole attitude. Somebody just wanting to get out there and lose their mind. I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor is the name of the next track. Ooh, wow. Much heavier guitars on this project. I'm liking that. Yeah. Oh, those backing vocals. Some pretty catchy hooks on here already, or choruses, whatever you want to say. It's got a really infectious rhythm to it here. That's good. I love the way it builds up and gets a little heavier every time around. Really appreciated that song for its catchy, infectious energy. That was a really solid thing for sure. That would be a great track to play on the dance floor, as the title may imply, of a more rowdy type of party situation. Definitely has that groove that would get people moving, and this concept of the song is pretty damn simple. We got somebody, you know, love at first sight kind of thing, but not really, saying that this girl he met, or whatever it may be, definitely would look good on the dance floor. I mean, it's pretty much about as self-explanatory as a thing can get. One thing I did notice, and a slight critique here, is once again a little bit repetitive. I feel like we're getting a lot of chorus and not a lot of song, but nonetheless, really good guitars on that track. I'm really liking the instrumentation on here. Fake Tales of San Fransisco is the name of the next song. Alright, very groovy, guitar lick coming through this song already. Very nice. Oh. This is a very punk type chorus here. Liking it. Nice. I love the backing vocals in this part, and the way that it's stripped back is just genius. Coming in heavier there. Always a great build up here. Yeah, this has really got those backing vocals on point. Oh, I love the way this is stripping back a little bit here. Okay, so that track seems to be about a party that is pretty fucking lame, with a bunch of people telling some fake stories, trying to play themselves up. This is maybe playing into the title of the album just a little bit, because people saying that you're something that you're not,
maybe being driven by the fact that people are always telling fake stories about themselves, putting out a fake persona. And I do like the fact that it's tying in a little bit there. Very catchy track. Once again, had a solid punk energy to that chorus, using those backing vocals, once again bringing in that pop punk flair. Yeah, really great track. Don't have much to complain about on that one whatsoever. I'm noticing that a lot of these are also featured on a album called Beneath the Boardwalk. I'm thinking maybe a lot of these tracks were later remastered or something to that degree, because the track listing is by no means the same. There's a lot of songs listed as demo, so I'm not really sure what exactly the crossover here is, but that does imply to me that we might be getting kind of a mixtape attitude towards this album, because if a lot of these songs were from older sessions, there might not necessarily be that same mindset going into every single song, and it might flow more like a piece that might have some of the same moods but not necessarily a solid narrative. I'm not going to look at it that way, and I wasn't going to begin with, because I feel like that's a little bit of a flawed way to look at the Arctic Monkeys from what I've seen so far. Dancing Shoes is the name of the next song, and I'm definitely sensing a theme.
Very solid bass line and vocals coming straight into the track right away. Oh, hell yeah, yes! This rocks, dude. Such a solid groove to this track. The kinetic energy of this album is just absolutely peaked. Just makes me want to move, but I'm sitting here in a desk chair. It's really simple, but it's so effective. And it's really well mixed and mastered. It's got a clean sound to it, but at the same... I am talking over a solo right now, and this solo is badass.
Oh boy, that's gotta be my favorite so far. These songs just have such a mood to them, and it makes me want to dance. We got a song called Dancing Shoes here, and it makes me want to put on some dancing shoes, whatever the hell a dancing shoe may look like, and dance my ass off, because this has such a fucking just mood to it. Just got that energy. And I'm seeing once again that this is kind of a character portrait of a, kind of dead end type attitude. I'm sensing that, you just don't care about life. You just want to get out and party. It's kind of a punk rock attitude to be having, in a light sort of way. I'm not giving it more credit than it's due, but hey, it's got the rhythm to it that just really rolls with that style. Speaking of Fall Out Boy, the next track is called You Probably Couldn't See the Lights, But You Were Staring Straight at Me. You probably couldn't see for the lights, but you were staring right at me. It's so long. That's what she said. Okay, yeah, we got some definitely some long titles on here, as customary to the pop punk genre that I feel like this is kind of playing into. It's a little bit more grittier than a lot of pop punk was, but at the same time, it's definitely nothing like above and beyond that either. It doesn't feel like it's more than pop punk. It just feels like it definitely has more of a attitude to it, I guess.
More punky riffs on it here. This is definitely one of the more simple tracks here, for sure, but it's still got that solid style to it. So good. Is this a different vocalist? I feel like that was somebody else singing for a second there.
Okay, so definitely one of the most simple tracks that we've seen on here so far. Pretty much just had that same guitar riff playing all the way through. Not that I hated that by any means, it was fine. This song definitely seems like it's talking about some more very fake people showing at social gatherings and the like. Yeah, somebody's commenting on here. Obviously, I'm doing my very extensive research. Someone is commenting on here, I love the voice of Matt in this song. I'm not really sure of all of the names of the members, but I do know that Alex Turner is the primary vocalist, so I do think that I was right about somebody else doing those vocals for a quick second in there. Yeah, this track seems to be playing into the idea of more fake people kind of showing up at a gathering, being their fake selves, and I feel like this song is definitely from a self-reflective point of view. It kind of seems like maybe the setting of this track is just at a smaller venue that they were playing at, because obviously, like we just saw, the Arctic Monkeys had been around for a few years before this, most definitely, and probably was playing some smaller gigs. And the idea of looking into the lights and not knowing if you can see a person or not is definitely the title here, and that makes sense of someone who would be at the crowd at a smaller venue and whatnot. So I think that that's exactly what this is going for. I'm not entirely sure, but very fast-paced track. Definitely has a head-banging rhythm to it. Nice. Definitely my least favorite so far, just because of its oversimplicity, I guess I would say, but Still Take You Home is the name of the next song.
Alright, kind of like that intro. Kind of a grim sounding guitar riff going on here. This one's a little bit more intimidating. Feel like maybe a fight's gonna break out at this party. Alright, this is a little brighter now. Maybe? There's still some kind of downtrodden melodies interjected inside the regular riff, that is. Yeah, definitely a confrontational attitude to this, but definitely a different aspect to it than I thought, I guess. More confident than confrontational, I guess, would be the better word for it. Really like this instrumental section here. This is nice. There's that darker riff coming in. Nice.
So, totally different perspective from that track than I was immediately expecting, given the very dark mood to the opening riffs there, but it has this very confident aura. This dude in the narration of the song saying, "You don't know nothing, but I'm still gonna take you home." The classic tale, as it says in the little bio here, of a young man hoping to get some romantic attention from an attractive woman at a club. Yep, exactly what I was going to say, just paraphrase a little bit. That's what's going on here, but like I said, I like the darker grit that this one has, I guess I would call it. Riot Van is the name of the next song. Maybe they're getting rated in this one. Predictions.
Got some acoustics going on here. This is interesting. Alright, so more or less I was correct. This song is strangely topical to an almost uncomfortable degree. This is very contradictory, with this being the slowest paced song, but it being such a confrontational situation once again. This is such an off song concept. Like, it's just completely different than I would expect there yet. Oof.
Okay, yeah, that was honestly a much needed but a very odd switch up in our track listing here, all things considered. And do pardon my phone for going off every 5 seconds. We got some things going on behind the scenes here. However, yeah, looking like a situation where the cops were certainly raiding this party that seems to have been going on for the previous 5 tracks up until this point. And we got some drunk dudes doing very drunk things here, interacting with the police officers, most definitely not getting along too greatly, getting kicked into a riot van at the end of the track here, and I'm wondering if this is going to lead to consequential events later in the album, or if we're just going to go back to different things. Kind of seems like a solid series of vignettes following the same sort of hard partying life up until this point. I don't think that there's a solid set of point A to point B events that are going on, but it definitely does seem like that. Like I said, kind of solid set of vignettes with a overarching theme to them. Track number 8 is Red Light Indicates Doors Are Secured. Okay, this is going to be about robbing from cars. Don't ask me why I know this.
Once again, very gritty riff. We're back right straight at it. I like the have to. It's nice. Got such a solid rhythm to it. I really like how there's 2 different guitar riffs playing on both sides. That's something that I've commonly had praise for with the Strokes. That's quite good. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Alright, so this does almost seem like kind of a continuation off of the last song where they're a bunch of dudes getting drunk, getting in trouble. However, obviously not straight after the fact, given that they were kicked into a Riot van on the last song. But this seems to be guys trying to get a ride to somewhere, which is certainly a thing that I can relate to. That's a solid concept for a song, a very simple concept for a song, but this leads other places, and yeah, it's looking like they're not gonna have a too great of a time because they're breaking into a car, attempting to steal it at the end of this song by the looks of it. That had, once again, kind of a menacing rhythm too, and I did quite like that a bit. Yeah. Cool track. Mardy Bum is the name of the next song. Not sure if this is a play on Mardi Gras or what exactly is going on, but there's one way to find out. Looks like we got a little bit of slowdown again here, unless it's deceptively slow in the intro. Okay. It's kind of got a surf rock vibe to it almost. Or kind of just maybe more of the mellow end of pop punk, that kind of thing going on here. I do like the very loud guitars despite the calmness of the track though. Okay, I guess that is slang for someone who is upset all the time. Didn't know that. I feel like it's probably a British. Alright. Really liking this one, yeah. I'm very glad that we're getting some very much needed slowdowns in this track listing. I'm glad that I'm staying interested. Oh. Alright. Liking that we're getting some more instrumental breaks in here. Nice. They're all very well executed too. Alright, so in this track, Alex Turner is obviously writing about a very disgruntled lover, whatever the interest may be in this song, talking about how they kind of argue all the time and how she always seems like she's grumpy or upset about something. This is a real life thing, by the way. There's certain relationships that just come to mind when you hear a song like this. It's really true. I do, like I said, I like that we're getting some slower, kind of slow down moments in here. It's not all just heavy, hard, headbanging riffs. That's not the goal here from what I can tell, absolutely, and I like that aspect of it. Yeah, and once again, just the fact that it still had loud guitars, it still had that moment where it picked up quite a bit at the end, almost implying the falling out of another argument towards the end of the song there. Very solid track, like the mood and the idea that it's conveying, very nice. Yeah, the next song is another one with a very long title. Very pop punk of you guys. Oh, never mind. It's not long. It's literally got what are the dots called again? There's a word for it. I know it. Perhaps Vampires is a bit strong, but yeah, I see where this is going. All right. Now. Very nice bass playing right away in this track once again. Everything ropes you in instantly. There's always something that's very attention grabbing right away. And if that wasn't attention grabbing, then this is very attention grabbing. Oh, I feel like I've heard this. This sounds very familiar. I'm not sure if it's just similar to some other things that I've heard or if I've actually heard it, but very good chorus though. That's so cool how it strips back a little bit rather than just keeping this relentless riff up. Going back to the stories thing, yeah. The addition of backing vocals once again. Or maybe it's just effects. Maybe it's a bit of an echo going on here. I'm not really sure. Okay, I'm intrigued. Where are we going with this? Waiting for something. This is gonna be something, I know it. Alright, picking up a little bit. This is really heavy. It's like surprisingly heavy, the guitar tuning on here. I don't really use that term lately either. Coming from a guy who's listened to a lot of metal, that is just surprisingly heavy for one case. That ain't even the end though.
gonna... This has so much character to it. I love this so much. All of the different guitar melodies happening on this song, it's just never ending. This is an everlasting gobstopper of guitar varieties. That right there is the type of song that even if there wasn't a single good song on here outside of it, that would make the whole damn album a good album. And don't get me wrong by any means with that statement. I've liked almost everything that I've heard on here, but that one was so good. I mean, what else is there to say? This song has a very simple concept to it. It just got so much charm to the title literally being so self-conscious in its own right of, well, vampires is a pretty strong word, but all you people are vampires. And it's tying into the title of the album really well. I cannot praise this enough. And as I was commentating along with the song, every single time I think that it's going to keep going with a really solid groove, rhythm, set of guitar riffs to it. It switches up again. It has got to be one of my favorite songs that I've reacted to on this channel. Nobody will ever top you, though. When the Sun Goes Down is the name of the next song. Oh, once again, got some acoustics here. Definitely talking about somebody who's a little bit down on their luck. Maybe two different people at this point. Very much so playing into the character portraits that's going on with these, like, little stories that are going on here. Oh, now it's building up. Alright. Alright. Getting straight back into it. Gotta love it. Really like the bass playing on this track. The drumming on here, also really solid. I feel like it falls to the background a little bit too much on this project, but on here, definitely really good. I do really like these repetitive hooks. It works really well with this, like, semi-punk attitude. And then it slows back down a little bit. Alright, I feel like we got a little bit of a big city crackhead love anthem going on here. That is a string of words right there, my friends. I really appreciate Alex Turner's way of writing these characters that are just down on their luck, living that disgusting person lifestyle. I mean, as somebody who's had such a large amount of experience with this kind of person, it's portrayed so well, especially on this album. Yeah, the use of acoustic next to the use of very heavy, fast-paced electric guitars and faster drumming, a whole bigger, faster rhythm along with those slow-down moments. Very nice, very good amount of juxtaposition between the two. I do appreciate the hell out of that. Very innovative song just for that reason. But once again, very good character portrayal here, and Alex Turner's writing certainly wasn't quite as developed as it was on AM when we listened to that one before, but here, I mean, you know, he still got the charm. The charm is there. You cannot... a man is simply built with a certain level of sauce that does not leave the vicinity. So it's a little bit surprising when it's just vocals and guitar coming in very gradually. I like the rhythm of the vocals here. The way the singing just kind of stacks in layers. It's kind of a hard thing to describe, but you know it when you hear it. I love how it builds up and then cuts right back down like that. Yes! Second guitar melody coming in there. Wow, that is solid. That is just great, dude. I love that. Got some backing vocals going on here. This is a chant. You know I love it. Then we're just back to that bass line. Alright, very nice, that one. Kind of detailing the idea of there being a strong duality between the light and the dark of a city, of a place, of
people in that city that kind of match that exact same ideology. There is the Ritz and the Rubble of a urban area, and that's a phrase that's used to describe a lot of big cities. So you've got people who switch up on you from day to day, once again playing into that theme of people being really fake. And that's something that definitely ties into the title once again, but ties into the ideas of everything going on in this album. I also like how this song was very divided. Half of it was really upbeat, really fast, aggressive, in your face, and the other half of it was a lot more mellow, a lot more cut back, stripped back a little ways. Through and through, there are a really solid set of metaphors that actually relate to not only the idea of the city being a metaphor for the people in it, but also the sound metaphorically representing the people and the city. So it's a really smart track in that way. I don't know if sonically it's one of my favorites. It didn't have like that much of a standout to it. I feel like a lot of it kind of did fall to the back in comparison to some of the most attention-grabbing things that were on this album so far, but still a very smart track, and I certainly appreciate it for what it was. And we're finally rolling into the end of this album. I am so excited to see what we have on A Certain Romance, which is the second longest song on the album. I wanted to bring a specific note to that just because, you know, it is a notable aspect about a song before you get into it, knowing that it's going to be a little bit more of a large thing to take in. That's what she said. But I also didn't notice that the Vampires song that I loved, Perhaps Vampires is bad, you know the one. That was actually the second longest song on here, and that absolutely boggles my mind. And it also shows you how good of a song that is, because it in no way felt 4.5 minutes long, and yet it is. That was quite the brain blowing realization when I came to that fact. But all that being said, let's get into this last song. Very fitting that there are 13 songs on here. The number 13 is very symbolic, especially with this type of person. Who knows if it was intentional. I like it though. We got some more of the band banter things going on in the intro of the tracks. Now, in 2006, that wasn't overdone. Normally I'd critique it, as I did with the Lamb of God album, but it's definitely building up a lot. I can tell that this is going to be a lot more monumental in its sound, as we're already seeing. Alright, once again, very large sonic diversity going on here. We had some very intense rhythms going on, now stripping it way back down to the slower melodies. I'm really wondering which direction this is going to go into. Okay, so it does seem like this instrumental bit is taking up a bulk of the track almost already. Well, not a bulk of it, but a large part. Oh, I really like the way that the guitars are just kind of rolling along with the vocal melody of this part. Much of the name of the game with this album, it seems. Liking that bass. Wow. That's nice. Very nice. No, not in the same way. Very peaceful way that this is being sent out is rather symbolic, all things considered. Kind of breaking away from the chaos of it all and just reflecting. And that's that, I suppose. AM was cool and all, but wow, now I get the hype. This is the kind of thing that only rolls around every once in a great while, especially with just like, with me recently coming into, you know, adulthood. I literally just got done turning 18. I've just lived out my teenage years through
such a similar lens that this feels like it's just coming and hitting me at such a great time. This is just a great time for this album to be coming into my life, and that makes me so glad that this was so heavily recommended. There's just something about it that like times out perfectly about this. And the vast array of character portrayals all being under this very urbanized party lifestyle of just these gritty people who just don't give a damn and just want to have a good time. I have met so many people that make me realize that these character portrayals aren't just characters, and this is real life. These are things that actually go on, and that is just so like fitting for my understanding of it. And I don't really mean to make this sound like it's super deep, because there's one thing that this album is not, and that is some like super poetic masterpiece for that very reason. It's not a album that has literary genius on the level of Shakespeare, okay? We're not getting there. All right, it's just not like that. That's not the sort of appreciation that I feel like I will ever get out of this kind of music. But for what it is, this is just perfectly executed. I am very passionate in my enjoyment for this album as it went on. There are so many great portrayals of certain situations that really happen, and the energy that comes along with it. I went into this kind of wondering what exactly this was going to lead up to. You know, we've got these first few tracks talking about, you know, being at parties or shows or what have you, partying and having a good time, and that's fun and all. That's got a really good energy to it. It has a setting, it has a time and place, and I am all for that 100%. But it's not something that I'm ever going to get a heavy level of deeper meaning, enjoyment out of this. And where this is something I feel like I can connect to. I feel like it had a lot of thought put into it while still being just executed in such a solid way. I just can't really say enough nice things about how that wrapped up at the end, with it being this reflection back on these people, despite us writing songs about them, are going to keep living the same way, keep living this, I don't want to say like street lifestyle, but this lifestyle of, you know, getting through your day and partying the troubles away, faking it to make it, making yourself look a lot better than you are. Once again, a very big aspect of this album. Fake people is a big theme. You know, I feel like I've said pretty much, I think I've said my piece on this album. Instrumentally, sonically, it's great. I feel like that goes without saying at this point, though. I mean, you've kind of heard me going on about it already. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw a 9- out of 10 at this. Honestly, could grow on me. I don't think this will ever be a 10 in my eyes, you know. Very few albums for me reach that level of like tip-top perfection, but once again, I will use the phrase for what it is, not in a necessarily demeaning fashion, because I have enjoyed so much music that is just like this, but for what it is, this album is pretty awesome. Whew. With all that being said, let me know what you thought of this album down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Drop a like on the video if you did like what you saw today, and subscribe to the channel for more music-related content coming your way. Make sure to hit the notification bell for that very same reason, so you know when I upload something, you know when I'm coming back with more Arctic Monkeys albums very soon. But I am going to go get some water and get the hell out of this sweaty room. It is so warm in here, and I will see you in the next video.